Hello and welcome to Not Weird, Just Homeschooled. I am your host. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention too? I'm your host, Jeremy Demery, and I forgot to tell you that you would have to introduce yourself, but I'm going to do it for you because I forgot. I neglected. This is now the second time I've done this. Right? I neglected to tell the person, hey, you're going to say your own name. Okay. Now that I don't know it, it's just, I don't know. I feel like it makes people a little bit more, it gets them into it in a sense. But yeah, so welcome to the show, Erin Kapferer.
Hey, gang.
Her and I have known each other now since what, 2008?
What? No,
before that.
Actually, I think even,
2004 maybe?
Possibly.
Yeah.
You met at Arabica.
Yes.
Right?
So, and then I started there, probably 2004, 2005.
Yeah, holy guacamole.
Yeah. So close to what, 18 something years?
That's creepy.
Yeah. And we just turned 19, like.
Exactly.
So we basically known each other our whole
Benjamin
lives.
Button disease. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means I'm just a big baby as I get older.
Ditto.
So, so we grew up in the same neighborhood as well.
Yes.
But you and I had very different experiences in that neighborhood because you went to public school like one of those cool kids, and I was homeschooled and awkward and didn't know how to interact with people at all, and you had to watch the brunt of me trying to discover how to socially interact with people.
You weren't that bad. You weren't that. Okay, so the first time, do you want me to talk about the first time like I met you?
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
There's so many things. I don't even know where to start. Well, I guess like you used to go to State Road for like a second, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I was for first, I think I got pulled out in my first grade.
And you called the music teacher Miss Dolphin, right?
Rudolphi.
But you called her Miss Dolphin.
Did I call her Miss Dolphin? I'm sure.
You're like, whatever, Miss Dolphin, you know. That's what you told me because I'm like, you went to Parma and then somehow you found my 5th grade picture where I think I had like a bob up to my ears with bangs and big octagon glasses.
I don't remember any of this, but this is hilarious.
No, it's true. And I'm like, why did that have... When you told me that, you were like, yeah, I found this year, but we saw you. And I knew as soon as you said it, I'm like, really? Out of all the things that you could see, you saw my 5th grade.
Oh, what a creep.
Elementary school.
Wow, super creepy.
But no, I
was like, I found you.
I found it. I think you were like looking at it with somebody, maybe Lisa, and...
Probably then. Yeah, because I've known her basically my whole life. Like, since kindergarten.
Are you serious? That's cute.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
I've known her for a really, really long time. We're still good friends.
Yes. Well, that's rad.
I think.
And who knows these days? But no, you said you saw my 5th grade elementary school picture, and that was like intense.
Yeah, exactly. That's a kind of a weird move. So we didn't even really know each other, and
we knew each other. No, this is when we became friends. But like, I was kind of just trying to figure out like when you started off. But okay, let me. But no, we became buds, and then somehow.
Well, I think we became friends maybe even before I started working there because they kept coming up.
So used to come up and see Josh all the time, and
that's right.
This is the first time that I met Jeremy. So I was working 24 hours, I think it was when it was 24 hours. And people used to call me Marla Singer because I would just smoke cigarettes all night and clean. And that was the only way I could stay awake was from smoking and drinking coffee. And then I met, Josh was up there. And then you were there and you were like squeaky clean. You had like beautiful hair. I think you were wearing like a tucked in like plaid shirt with like Sauconys.
It sounds all pretty simple. Not much different than I dress now.
Yeah. And Josh mentioned that you guys had a dare of like kicking your shins together.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
For as hard as you could.
Yeah. Did it already happen?
I think it already happened.
Oh, man. Brutal.
That's what you guys said. It's brutal.
Because, we'd both played soccer and we both skateboarded. So we figured at that point that, like, our shins have gone through enough where we could get away with something like that and it'd be completely fine.
I think it's just weird. So you actually had, like, a discussion about shins?
Yeah, I don't even know how it came up. I mean, so there's a lot of Joshes in my life. There's my brother Josh.
Oh.
This is Josh you're referring to, Josh DeRocher Jones. So we're Josh Galbincia is the one you're
Yes,
talking
Josh
about.
Galbincia.
And so Josh Galbincia and I both grew up in very religious homes.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of like pent up frustration because of our upbringings.
Yeah.
And it would manifest in very weird ways. And you know, it's funny because I was just telling a story about how like growing up in Parma, you know, a lot of those kids were into like Jackass and shit like that. And every time those things would like spur up, I would just leave because I didn't have to deal with them come Monday morning.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to get tased in the balls, and then I'd leave. So it's kind of funny that I would do that because I remember doing that with Josh Galbincia, but like it's kind of funny that I was convinced to do it because normally there would be a situation and be like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
And you just did it.
Yeah, I think it's because Josh was a little older than me, and I looked up to him.
He is older. I think he's like a year older than me, and that's like 20 now, we should say. He's 20.
He's 21, 23,
21.
something like that. He can drink. That's how cool he is.
Yeah.
Actually, that's he could drink when we met. I think it's kind of why we became friends because he could get me beer.
Really?
We were like the bad Christian kids.
I know, 707 kids.
Yeah, we were the bad guys. You know what I mean?
You actually took me to that church. I was curious.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. I am sorry. Who brought you? I did?
I think you did because I was curious about it. And you know how I am. I mean,
yeah. You're a free spirit.
I'm a free spirit. I'm the bohemian of the family.
In the sky.
Yeah. But I was just curious. So I went. Everyone was very well dressed. They looked like an Urban Outfitters catalog from like 2004.
Because that's where we all shopped.
Yes. There was a very well-rehearsed Christian band on the stage. It
Led
was like
by
a youth minister? I don't even know.
Why can't I think of his name right now? Him and I are still friends. He's really cool.
He probably is. He probably is.
Anyways, I'm sorry. Go on.
And like I just was there to kind of like observe, but I'm also like, you know, parentheses, a medium. So I was just like reading everybody, and I was like, a lot of people are full of shit in here.
And to your credit, they were.
Yeah, but
yeah, that whole thing kind of exploded in and on itself.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
like the pastor was cheating on his wife.
Yeah, I picked that up.
So was the worship leader or whatever.
Yeah, there was a lot of things.
I mean,
picked
at
up where
that
I'm
point,
like,
I was already out.
Huh. You know, but I embraced it, and I was like, you know, Jeremy's my friend, and like he's awesome, and I want to kind of figure him out a little bit.
You're a lot nicer than me.
Also,
you're a better person than
you were
I am.
also a cocky Christian. You were like, you don't know, you don't get it.
Was I? Oh,
A little bit.
It's so embarrassing. I'm so glad you're bringing this up. You are crushing this thing already. So I was cocky about it, was I?
You were a little bit cocky, like she just doesn't get it, you know, because you had other Christian friends, and I was like, "Hey, Jeremy," it's like smoking, I'm, you know, spazzing out. I would listen to like Liz Phair and Cat Power and like
So you
Bikini Kill.
really watched the transformation of like
I
me
adored
going
it.
from, like,
I actually saw it in my mind's eye. I'm like, this is not gonna last.
You're like, I will break you.
Yes. It's going to be like an explosion. And that's exactly what happens. Do you remember when you cut your hands and
Yeah.
like Jeremy Demery cut his
stigmata.
hand? Yeah. And he had to have stitches in his palm. And like he was such a fucking gross boy. He wouldn't stop working with it. And it kept him like busting open all the time.
Yeah, and he got infected.
Oh my God. It was so gross.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah.
I got infected again, and then they put me on like they put me on some sort of something. I forget what it was. Maybe it was, I want to say it was Percocet or something like that. And I had taken it before playing a show, and I drank one beer, and I was fucked up. And my tolerance at the time wasn't great.
Yeah.
So already, so you have like, what was that? That English beer that we'd always drink, the brown ale.
I don't know. We would always go up to like, what is that one bar right by it?
The Clubhouse.
The Clubhouse. And then Ryan was vegan at the time. So
Yeah.
he would always have like those fries with like Italian dressing. Something. But he wasn't like a healthy vegan. He was like a gross vegan.
You know what I said the other day about Ryan? I was like, I really wish he was alive to do this show.
Well, he's coming through us.
Yeah, it was so funny because I'm like, what a selfish reason to want him to be alive.
I know.
That's it. Just come in, do the show.
Come and do the show.
Don't talk to me again.
No, but yeah. Yeah, he was a hoot nanny.
He was.
Yeah.
He was a great guy.
He was.
I would love to hear some of his stories about.
Oh my God! If
he would be relentless. At least you're being nice about it.
Yeah.
He would not be nice about it. He would be relentless, and I'd probably get frustrated at some point, and then tell him I'm going to delete this fucking episode. It would be amazing.
Oh my God! No, he was relentless. The last time I saw him was at a lottery league, and he was still relentless with me.
Was he?
Yes, still relentless. Like
bless
he
his
remembered all of like the inside jokes, and I was like, I can't believe it. He's like a blast from the past that I just.
Well, that's one thing we didn't realize about Ryan Yankee is that he had placed a lot of buttons on us over the years.
Yes,
and he knew exactly where to push them.
He did. Oh
because
my
he put
God!
them there.
I freaked out on him so many times, and he enjoyed it. We were probably driving around in his van listening to the Goo Goo Dolls because he loved the Goo Goo Dolls.
Wow.
But yeah. No, I saw the what was like, so you were squeaky clean Jeremy, but he had like beautiful shiny hair. He had like no pores in his face. He was very clean cut, very clean.
Yeah, not the schlub you see before you now.
You're not a schlub.
Oh, old schlub over here.
You're not a schlub. But like, I think you were like very freaked out by anything sexual. I think your aunt came in and was talking about birth control pills, and you like flipped out a little bit. You're like, I don't want to hear about it. And then
my aunt?
I think your aunt came in and was talking about it. And
what the fuck would my aunt be doing there talking about birth control pills?
Because I think she mentioned them because she knew it would irritate you. Like, Jeremy, I have to take my birth control pills.
Oh my God.
Do you remember like weird things that I remember? Yeah.
I wonder what aunt.
I don't know. But I do remember it. I'm like, I like that aunt.
It was probably my Aunt Regina. Yeah. Now I think of it. And she's still very cool. Yeah. She rules. I love Aunt Regina. Even though her and my Uncle Corky, they got divorced a long, long time ago. But she's still the best.
Aw. Well, that's cool. I like Aunt Regina.
I didn't marry her. So she was cool in my book. Yeah. I had no reason to not like her.
Yeah. Yeah, she's very cool. I remember I really liked your family. I liked your little sister. I liked your whole family. I thought they were really good human beings.
Yeah, we are.
I think like me and the coworkers thought your dad was hot.
I bet. My dad was a looker. He was so oblivious of it too.
Didn't he wear Curve or something? I don't know, but really,
yes, he did. Oh my God, the things you remember. He still wears Curve. Holy shit!
Well, I grew up in Parma, so Curve and Aqua di Gio. I mean, they're like stuck in my bones, you know.
That is really funny. Wow. Yeah, the things you remember is wild.
It's just weird. But anyway, I am curious on when you like denounced the clean cut Jeremy Demery.
Pretty early on with my career with Arabica, I would say. I don't think it lasted much longer about hanging out around there because, like, you know, you're around a lot of people who are staunch and very intelligent non-believers. So you kind of get a perspective of what they have to say, and then you try and come up with your own thing. And then over a little while, like you realize, like, oh, this is bullshit. Yeah,
I mean, well, you're a very open-minded individual.
You know, I don't know. I mean, you and I are. It's funny because you're probably more spiritual now than I am. Yeah. And you know, I grew up in like a pretty like religious upbringing, so that's kind of funny that our paths crossed in that way.
Yeah, I grew up Catholic.
You duped me. You duped me. I got bamboozled.
Yes, I got.
You out there smoking your cigarettes, scheming against me. I knew it.
With my asymmetrical bob going on. Yeah, there's. Yes, yeah. The cigarettes kept me alive and awake. But no, yeah, I was just curious.
Well, it was also killing you.
Yeah, well, it was also killing me with the coffee and not eating. You know,
there's a lot of that going on with all of us. We all got very skinny. During that time.
Do you remember that? I don't know. I got really skinny too. Smoking and drinking coffee and not eating.
And anxiety.
There was a lot of anxiety back in the day.
Which now that we're older, seemingly nothing.
Yeah.
A lot of anxiety over a lot of nothing.
Oh my God, there was so much drama at that fucking coffee house. It was ridiculous.
It was awesome. For somebody like me, I'm like, this is like an episode
so
of
90210. Yeah, 90210.
And I didn't deal with that in high school at all. So like this was
like
exciting.
Yeah.
This was like kind of like my high school.
Yes.
I was talking about that with another person on the podcast. So excuse me for repeating myself, but like I do feel like I was kind of like a late bloomer in a lot of areas, both like mentally mostly. Like I feel like I kind of, because of being homeschooled, I kind of caught on to things a little later than most people who went to like high school or whatever caught on to, because they didn't have any of those experiences.
Yeah.
And what experiences I was involved with, I could just go home.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this got weird for me, so I'm just going to go home.
You're right. I think that's kind of cool, though.
I loved it. I'm not knocking homeschooling. I loved being homeschooled.
Well, the thing is, Jeremy is very intelligent. I mean, if you haven't noticed, so like he's open-minded in a sense. I mean, he had that cocky Christian phase where he's like, you don't know what you're talking about, you know. But like,
I'm a well-educated idiot.
But
that's what I am.
He definitely has a very open-minded, intelligent brain. So like, you know, I can see you transforming. But
it's so funny. So
yes.
Give them like a little bit of a context of what our neighborhood that we grew up in was like.
Oh my God.
It was
scrappy.
It was scrappy, but it was like there was like we didn't want to admit to ourselves how white trash we were.
No, I didn't realize how white trash it was until I left and then started working there again. And then I remember I had this coworker at this one establishment I was working at. She's like, I'm going out to eat. I think she wore like pink Uggs and like a Victoria's Secret, like, I don't even know. And I was like, how did I not know this was happening? How trashy it was. And I have Uggs, which is, you know, awful. But no, it's a scrappy little town. It's racist.
Yes.
Totally.
Racism is rampant in Parma.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Let's see what else. They do have Zero Zest, though.
Is that still around?
That is still around.
Wow.
They have Honey Hut. I had a friend from Toledo, and there was like a party in Old Brooklyn. She's like, I hear there's like this ice cream place, and they make their ice cream out of honey. And I'm like, you mean Honey Hut? I'm like,
That's
I know
so
all
funny.
about Honey Hut. But yeah, very religious. A lot of bars, a lot of churches, and very big Polish community, very big Ukrainian community. I'm Polish, so it's like, you know.
I'm not Polish at all.
I know.
I'm zero white.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
I have friends who are half black and half white, and I love pointing out the fact that I'm less white than they are. I'm not saying I'm blacker than they are. I would never say that because that's not factually true. But I am less white.
You're very right about that.
But I look like this, so it's kind of like moot. You know?
Moot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, if anybody's getting arrested or talking to the cops, it's going to be them getting arrested.
Yeah.
Not me talking to the cops.
Yes, exactly.
So, but yeah,
that's cool. But yeah,
those would be the kind of things that would be said in Parma.
Yes. Yes. It's just weird. And like there was like an eclectic little batch of creative humans like Jeremy, and some really cool humans came out of Parma.
We produced a lot of weirdos in that town.
We had to go elsewhere, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean,
yeah.
I still didn't, believe it or not, I didn't land very far because I just moved to Old Brooklyn like 4 months ago.
I have a soft spot for Old Brooklyn.
I love it. I can't believe how much I love it. It's like because the one thing I said, I love the house, but it's a little too close to Parma for my liking.
Where do you live?
I live like right where Pearl and State split.
I know exactly where that is.
So, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, there's something. I have a soft spot for Old Brooklyn.
I love it. It's been great living over there, and yeah, even being so close to Parma, I don't even really notice. Mm-hmm. This is nice.
Memphis Diner. I don't know if there's some good ones.
Yeah, there's some gems in that town.
I used to go to Sarah's Thrift. I think that's in Old Brooklyn. I don't know.
It kind of feels like the early days of like Ohio City.
Yeah,
when we all lived in Ohio City. Like we all lived in that Franklin house.
Yes, that was the one. That was.
on the couch or whatever available
Did
room
you
there
live
was.
there?
Yeah.
I lived there too. That's when me and Chasney, we still connect. And he was like, I mentioned to him that I smelled like cigarettes and beer all the time in my early 20s. It was a cool house. It was haunted. I got the ghost removed.
Yes, we were having a conversation before we started the podcast about how there's just certain people in your life that just like you had no idea, but they've been in your life and they'll always be in your life.
Yes,
and you don't know how they ended up with this person, but here we are.
Yes, and Chasney is one of them humans for me, and I knew him since high school. But we had, I guess, told me a story.
Mine's Greg Smith.
Really?
Yeah, Greg Smith and I have known each other like for really, really probably since maybe junior high.
Isn't that weird how that happens? You're like, how did that happen? He also told me a story about Ryan Chasney. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
No, go ahead. No,
where I guess
they get plenty of time with me. So
they had a band stay at their apartment, and I guess the band threw up all over the place, and then Chesney said that Ryan had to clean it up or something like that. I don't even know, but it was intense.
That wasn't an uncommon. That was like a fairly typical night.
Yes,
we were all drinking a lot and doing drugs,
smoking,
and smoking like chimneys.
Oh my god, it was so
wild.
Much fun.
It was a lot of fun, but it was kind of gross.
It was gross and fun. I mean, there's nostalgia about waking up smelling like grease and cigarettes and beer and going to work.
Or living on a thrift store couch.
Yes.
I'm really thinking you're cool.
Or like waking up and there's like strangers sleeping on your floor or a band or, you're wondering if they're ever going to do the dishes. So you're just going to wait it out. That kind of thing.
A lot of passive aggressive.
Oh, absolutely.
Do the dishes moves because none of us really knew how to. We were too young. We didn't have the maturity yet to really like figure out how to have confrontation.
Yes.
In a healthy way. Where like I never really was put in a position of being in a confrontation with somebody where they have unhealthy relationships with confrontation, and so they manifested it in almost overcompensating for it. So it was a lot of passive aggressive things that happened during that time of like trying to be like do the fucking dishes. So
yes, and that's like isn't that like a universal thing? Because I used to go into other people's houses when I was like a young chippy like that, and dishes were piled in the sink, and there was a post note of a sad face on it. I like that method as well.
Yeah, or we'd end up arguing about NBA Jam. But it was not about NBA Jam at all.
Yes. Yep.
Those were fun times.
Yeah.
Because at that point you were like willing to like, you knew the argument wasn't about NBA Jam at all.
Yeah.
Neither of us give a fuck about NBA Jam, but it was funny to point out the fact that we had that argument.
Oh my God.
Because a lot of us, we had the hubris to think that we were smart enough that we knew what the fuck we were talking about. Yeah. And none of us did. No. We were, I will say that it was a very intelligent group of people. Like, it's probably the smartest group of people I've ever been friends with.
You're right.
And I'm including my friends now. You hear that, motherfuckers?
It was like you're at an age where you're like trying to figure shit out. It's like first experiences, like you're out on your own. I mean, there's like the pretentious aspect of it all. Oh my God, yeah. But yeah, it's
man, and we were awkward too. We were very awkward people.
Oh my God, yeah.
So, how many siblings do you have?
I have 2.
And where do you land?
I'm the dreaded middle.
Ooh, brutal. I'm the oldest of 3.
Oh.
So I was like King Tut.
Yeah. Well,
King Turd of Shittown.
I thought you were like, for some reason, you are older. But for some reason, for a minute, I thought you were like the middle. I don't know, but you act like an older sibling. It's like.
I'm incredibly immature.
You think you know it all, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm cocky as fuck. Oh, well, then I guess I was a lot cockier than I thought. I always thought of myself as being like a very shy and timid and like really, really like intimidated by you guys.
Really? No, I always thought you were funny.
Maybe I was overcompensating for how intimidated I was by all of you.
He was a little shy, but he was funny. So that's kind of great that you're a comedian, and you always had a good laugh. You had a good presence about you. You weren't like a dick right off the bat.
Well, that's my way of getting through most social situations, is trying to humor my way out of it, which doesn't always work. But honestly, I don't know. I think it's been like both a curse and a blessing, where it's like, you don't take anything seriously enough, which is probably makes you emotionally unavailable for your, the people in your lives, but it also keeps you light enough where like you're able to cheer them up in the darkest of times. Aww. So it's like, it's a tough like line to walk, where it's like, well, okay, how much, and I think I've gotten over the years, because there's been so much death in my life, that like, I've really gotten a good feel of like when to place those jokes. Yeah. I've had a lot of practice. I've done a lot of bombing, is what I'm trying to say, over the years. So getting up on a stage and telling jokes and bombing in front of strangers is almost kind of a relief, because I don't have to talk. It's kind of like being homeschooled, where I don't have to talk to them ever again. Mm-hmm. I don't have to see these people. They're not a part of my day-to-day life. And I think that was kind of what made you guys so so intimidating to me, is because not only that, like, you guys were like kind of like around all the time. So it's like, oh, like I can't necessarily avoid these people, or just go home, like, so I think that's the part, like, for the first time, like I was like, especially Ryan Yankee, it was like, I felt like Ryan, I couldn't take a piss without saying. He'd just be like next to me, like, hi.
That's how it was. It was like a weird clubhouse. I don't even know what it was, but
it was just very bizarre.
And there was a lot of drama, a lot of fighting, a lot of fun. It was just that one
very little work happening.
Oh yeah, one little of like, being young, I guess. But yeah,
we played a lot of really fun games, like hide the porn.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think that might have just been Grady.
You also had like was that you? No, they had like a practice space down in the basement.
Yeah, that was myself. It was just basically, well, at first it was me and the people in Poor Sailor.
Yeah.
And then it just became, then I joined Poor Sailor.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Okay.
And then it was like all of our practice space.
Yeah, so I would go down there too. No, it was kind of cool. It was like a weird little spot in time. That's. Oh
yeah, you used it.
Yeah.
Rachel used it.
Yeah.
Roxanne used it. Mm-hmm. Though I think Roxanne mostly just did her like solo stuff in there, like the early iterations of what she's pretty much doing now, which is kind of cool to see. It's cool that she's still out there doing it.
Yeah,
like, it's fun to see that. That's like
that's like their path. Like they just never gave up on their dharma. That's just cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't it make you happy? I mean, like I like that you're a comedian. I think I actually even mentioned like back in the Arabica days, and I'm like, you should be a comedian.
Well, this is how big of an idiot I am. I didn't know you could do comedy in Cleveland, because
I found out you could through Josh. What is his last name? I'm a horrible person. Josh
Bizance?
No, I'm horrible. Josh Jesty is a comic.
I don't know that.
And that's when I learned that there was a comedy thing in Cleveland. And I'm like, that's really cool, And then, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a big idiot, because I didn't know you could do comedy in Cleveland, because in my head, all the comics that I've ever seen or heard of are either from Los Angeles or New York. And then all of the clubs in Cleveland only ever put on their marquees were guys from New York or LA.
Yeah, so like where do you step in? Like how did you find out about this community?
Through my friend John Valley. He told me about this open mic at Lakewood Village Tavern, and I thought it was, maybe they do like poetry and acoustic, and because I have a history in open mics, so like because I ran the Arabica's open mic for the longest time, and then so I thought that's what it was gonna be, but it wasn't that. It was just a straight up comedy open mic. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to come back in 2 weeks and do this thing.
That's awesome.
And I'm going to write out a set and everything. And John Valley said, great. Well, I'll come, I'll come and sign you up. I'll make sure you're comfortable, blah, blah. Because he had already been doing it for like 6-7 months or whatever, something like that. And he never showed up. And I ended up doing, here's what I was most excited about. I got the light. So like the light is like they let you at 4 minutes when you have 5 minutes. So you have 1 more minute to do a joke or wrap up your thought or whatever. You have 1 more minute to be on stage. So I got that. That was a huge accomplishment for me. And I got 1 laugh.
Really?
Yeah, I got him at the end. I forget. I don't even know what the bit was, but I wish I could remember. I bet you I could look it up because I do have a lot of my old sets saved. So I'm sure I could find it. But I got 1 laugh. And I was hooked. I was like, this is amazing. I was like, so much better than being like, after so many years of being a musician and being in so many bands and everything, to find something that you can latch onto creatively that's new and exciting and like you're passionate about and you've always been a big fan of is very cool. Like I was just hooked from that moment on. And I haven't really looked back since. Like I've been pretty much, my whole life has pretty much been devoted to comedy since then. So
it suits you. It made me very happy to see that you're doing this.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's kind of you to say. I also wish I would have started a timer. Do you know what time we started? No. Well, I guess it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
So yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Like comedy has been a huge part of my life. I fucking love it. It has its good and bad days, just like anything else. But, you gotta keep on keeping on, I guess,
Keep on
brother.
keeping on, having fun with that creative process. But no, I'm proud of you. I'm glad that you're doing it.
Thank you.
I keep an eye on you. That's the cool thing about social media is that
you can stay connected without having to be intrusive in somebody's life.
that I can still keep an eye on the people that I like from afar, but I'm like laying on the couch and like, I'm like, yeah, I should probably get a hold of them, but instead I'm going to watch like Bridgerton or something like that.
Downton Abbey.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, that's the problem too, is that you have that like little ticker where it goes into the next episode.
Yes.
And you just let it go.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so much easier to just let it go to the next episode.
They do that on purpose.
And next thing you know, it's 7:00 the next morning.
Yes. You're like, oh, well, I guess we'll stay for 1 more episode. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're there for 9.
And you're like, why did I do this to myself? Yeah.
Because we hate ourselves.
Yes.
That's why.
And Netflix knows it.
Yes.
Streaming devices know it. Yeah.
Netflix can never hate me more than I hate myself.
That's a nice little pin. Nice
Yeah.
little airbrushed shirt from like Cedar Point.
I have it as a back piece.
Yeah. Is it
So
like
this way, when I turn around, they can see it.
Mm-hmm. I did date somebody who lived off of West 127th, and he had this neighbor that had a back piece of an American flag, and it did say, try burning this one off.
So what happened? He's dead now?
I don't know, but that was like the sign where I'm like, I probably shouldn't be in this relationship.
Because he was really cool with that guy.
Yeah, he was really cool with that guy.
Oh, fuck. So yeah, our growing up was bizarro. We were all a bunch of degenerate.
Yes, my anxiety was through the roof.
We were a bunch of degenerate, well-educated idiots.
Yeah, it's very like, common. We were very open, deep, sensitive individuals. Had a lot of anxiety, a lot of insecurity at that time. Yeah.
Sure. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Especially me. Mm-hmm. I was driven by insecurity. I still am. I mean, not much has changed as far as insecurity is concerned. Very, very insecure. Need validation all the time. It's like it's something I'm trying to be better about.
See, I never saw that with you. I saw it with other people. They were like really obvious, but I never saw it.
I'm really good at hiding it. It's like years and years of practice. But like, it's like I like to think of myself as a introverted person who's trained to be extroverted and very good at covering up their like insecurities. Like And that, like, I guess I shouldn't be so surprised then that I was kind of like, I had a hubris about me over a religion that I probably at the time didn't even believe in.
Yeah.
But we also, too, there was a group of people who we loved to argue.
Oh my God.
Sometimes we would take stances on shit we didn't even believe in.
I would see it. I would watch it happen. I'm like, they're doing this on purpose. They're all doing this on purpose.
That's one thing I loved most about Ryan is that guy loved to argue.
Oh, he would have like that weird look on his face, and he would act like he was right. He's like, I'm right. That's just what's going on here.
Yeah. He was very good at pleading his case and playing devil's advocate, but he was doing it just to be an asshole.
Yeah, he was.
Which is hilarious, but also very frustrating at times because he became so good at it.
I would hear so many of you guys like screaming from the other room. Because you guys would be getting, or on that couch, you would be having like a
heated debate.
Yes. Oh my God.
We loved to argue. It was our thing, our favorite pastime. Which I think have made a lot of people uncomfortable. I don't think my wife now, she didn't like Ryan that much. But
these boys were supposed to be working, and they were, and I would be watching this from behind the counter.
That is true. We did so little work. We were the laziest employees.
I tried. I was part of the old crew too. So
you were fine. You were a good employee. Rachel's definitely a go-getter.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say much for me.
No. Oh my God.
Ryan.
Nobody gave a shit. Nobody gave a shit.
Yeah. I was really
people would like leave in the middle of their shifts and come back with like food or drunk, smelling of beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like no shame. I think honestly, when it was still, you could still smoke inside.
Yeah.
And I remember when they actually banned it, and I was actually craving a cigarette from all the smoke from inside that I was inhaling. The secondhand smoke. It was really gross.
I think about it from time to time of how disgusting that place was.
It was absolutely disgusting.
Like it even had like
no shame.
It had like 3 big ass like air filters that they would run constantly, and they were so loud. And it was still gross as fuck in that place.
Yeah. It was disgusting.
We were like smoking behind the counter.
Yeah, you know.
Basically, this was like the Dick's last resort.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of coffee shops. Mm-hmm. Where we would call people assholes to their faces. And then they would tip us handsomely for it. It was so funny because I forget who I was working with. It might have been Grady. It was like the rare times Matt Grady and I were on the same shift, but we realized
somehow everyone's friends got employed there. Like I would just show up and they would just be working there. I'm like, I don't even think it was like professional. Like, oh, you have to fill out an application. They would just be like working there.
Yeah. You hung out here.
Sometimes sleeping there. Didn't you guys like sleep there sometimes? Like in the.
I don't ever remember sleeping there because I didn't live far.
Well, you were like, see, that's your Christian upbringing. You're responsible. You're like, I'm going home.
Well, it was like your nice way of saying, well, good for you.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, but anyway, what did you hear about Grady? What was going on?
Oh, we realized that one evening we were just being assholes to everybody. I think it was like a busy Friday or Saturday night, and we made fun of literally everybody who walked through the door. Like we roasted literally everybody who walked through the door. No one was safe. And we realized we were making better tips with the people that we roasted the hardest.
Really?
Yeah. They loved it for some reason. It was insane to me. The shit we would get away with saying to customers. And it's almost like they came in and expected it.
Oh my God. So yeah, it was it was like Dick's last resort.
Yeah, we made fun of we were assholes to everybody.
Oh my God.
It was the best job. It's still one of the best jobs I've ever had.
I think everybody says that about Arabica. I was there for a minute. And then we all went our separate ways.
It was like a cross between like Dick's Last Resorts and Empire Records.
Oh, absolutely. It was like one of those moments in time. I keep on repeating that. But no, it was fun. It was definitely fun. And it was like that weird time where you didn't have to have responsibilities yet. You could still be like a little shit, you know?
You didn't have to make that much money to survive.
Well, yeah, it's also was a lot different back in the day. I think I had like an apartment that cost like $390 in like Lakewood or something. You know, yeah.
I want to go back in time and kick my own ass sometimes because like complaining about having to make bills, it's like, dude, you work 3 days out of the week. You make pretty good money. Your rent's $100 a month.
Yeah.
And you have a cell phone bill, car insurance.
Yeah, we had like no idea how easy
Yeah, that was
it
pretty much it. Like cell phone bill, car insurance, and then like I get, you know, had to put gas in the fucking car. That was it. Those were like my things I had to handle. Even that at the time seemed like, oh dear God.
Yeah, there was no internet. Not really. Not yet. There was like no.
I think it was a lot more prevalent than we like to give it credit for in our lives.
Yeah. Wowie zowie.
Because that was like kind of like when MySpace and AOL and like, yeah, we weren't like, it wasn't what it is today, obviously, but it was still, I think it's still every bit as much around.
Yeah.
And we would still like talk about it. Like, oh, did you see what so-and-so posted on MySpace?
Oh my God. Oh
or
my
Friendster?
God. MySpace. And then Facebook happened. And then did you remember we had this one journal that we'd pass around? Do you remember that shit?
Yeah, I remember the one that's underneath the counter or something like that.
Oh, yeah. And then I don't even know what that was all about, but it was like.
I never wrote anything serious in there.
I fucking did. I know. I think there was a lot of like weird dicks in there. You know,
probably.
Like probably a lot of dicks.
Yeah.
Do you remember the fingers? Like what do you call that? I'm doing it to you right now.
Oh, yeah, that game where you go like this and then.
Yeah, it's okay, you have to describe it to the audience. It's like the circle.
Oh, right. It's the circle with your 3 fingers out, and you put it below your waist. And if they look at it, you can punch them.
Yes, and
it's a pretty popular. I forget what it's called.
I don't know what that's called, but you guys did that all the time. I remember being dead ass tired. Like
I fell for that a lot.
Somebody actually drew it in the bottom of a cup. Do you remember that?
Yes.
It was Ryan. They're like, I don't know, this tastes really weird. And Josh was like, I'm not falling for that shit. And I was like, what are you guys fucking talking about? I looked in the cup. Somebody actually drew it in there. I'm like, that's kind of amazing, you guys. I'm sorry. That's kind of amazing.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
The stuff that we would make
just
time
dudes
for.
being dudes, you know? Just dudes being dudes.
The stuff remember we had that game where make porn, not porn, and whoever can figure out which part was porn, they were disqualified.
Oh my God. I wasn't a part of that game. I wasn't that cool.
So we did
You guys did tell me about really like 2-girl, like whatever party. I don't even know.
Oh, the 2 girls, 1 cup.
And then
I never watched it. I still haven't seen it to this day.
I heard about it. I don't want to watch it. And then there was also like something party.
Lemonparty.com. That I have seen, yes.
And I'm like,
it's basically like 5 old dudes sucking each other off.
I don't even know, but I remember, and
it's actually quite beautiful to think about it now.
Yeah.
One time I pulled a prank on somebody where I told them that because they were talking about recipes, like, oh, me and my wife cook together all the time. We like to come up with new fun recipes to do together. And I was like, you ever go to this like it's all lemon recipes. It was like, oh, it sounds really cool. It's like, yeah, it's called lemonparty.com.
Oh,
and they sat down together at the computer, went to lemonparty.com. Next day, the guy comes in, he's like, you sick motherfucker.
You're such a little shit. This is when Jeremy got bad.
Yeah, I was a bad boy.
He was a bad boy, Jeremy.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wore leather jackets and spit on old ladies. No, I'm just kidding. That's my version.
I'm like so gullible. I'm like, really? You did
That's
that?
my Nickelodeon version of being bad.
Yes. I see like a Catholic schoolgirl that's like bigger than everybody. That's my Nickelodeon version.
Of a bad girl?
Yeah, that I'm like in the
That's more of a bully. That's not bad girl.
Oh, I don't even know. I don't know. Do you see any bad girl in me?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a secret temper, I guess. And it comes out.
I've never seen that. You've been in some pretty fucked up situations.
Yes.
And you have to get cool most of the time.
Yes, you know firsthand. Yeah. What was your I'm just curious, what was your version, what was your opinion of me back in the day?
You were cool. You were intimidating.
Which is hilarious, by the way. Because I'm a big fucking goofball.
Yeah, and like you were a lot. You were a lot like at least you were friendlier than most of the people that work there.
I know there was a lot of assholes.
So like it kind of was easy to talk to you more so than others at that place. Same with Chazzy. Chazzy was the same way. He was pretty easy, like easy
Jeremy
to talk
saw me,
to.
Like, flip out on those employees many times.
Oh yeah, and it's not like you weren't justified in it.
You guys would do passive aggressive things like write notes or steal her bucket. I don't even know what was going on.
I never wrote a serious. I will stand by this as long as I live. I never wrote anything serious in that book.
You shouldn't, because it was like I wonder if anybody still has it out there, because it was ridiculous.
Man, I wish that. I bet you Ryan, with the kind of hoarding that man did, I bet you he saved it.
Yeah.
Knowing him and how sentimental he was about the weirdest things.
He was, yeah. I know. Yeah, that's why the things he would bring up, I'm like, why do you remember that?
Yeah.
In a good way.
So yeah, you were the person who's also like, you believed in spirituality, so we kind of connected on that level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty much. I knew like you, Rachel, who else? Sarah.
Yeah.
Grady.
Mm-hmm.
Rollin was very intimidating to me.
Really?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Why?
He was like, because he kind of seemed grumpy and just closed off and always had his walls up. So it was like really hard to like, I thought for a while there that he hated me.
Oh, who could
for a
hate you?
while. For
who
a
could
while.
Hate you?
And, well, I'm just paranoid and like an insecure little
it's
fuck
because
who
you're
didn't know what's going
Cancer.
on.
My sister said that. I was like talking to her about something, and I was like, I think they're mad at me. I think they don't like me. And they're like, you're a Cancer. You don't think anybody likes you. So.
And when Erin refers to her sister, she means the hot one. Just so you guys know.
Shut up. You know? But yeah. Yeah, you saw me at my human job, and you were like, are you mad at me? Remember when you saw me like walk past you? You were like,
oh, yeah.
I'm like, no,
that is not uncommon for me to do that.
I'm not mad at
I
you.
literally almost sent a person a text yesterday. I haven't seen them in weeks. In what way would they be mad at me?
I don't know. It's like the weird internalized wham baby Cancer stuff.
Actually, now that person actually has a reason to be mad at me. I think of it, and I don't care. So funny. Like nothing's
like that too. Yeah.
Nothing's really going on, and I'm like, oh, I think they're mad at me.
You're like, I don't give a fuck. But if you think they're mad at you,
I'm like, well, fuck you then.
Yeah. I used to misread shy people, so I'm like, well, fuck you. I don't like you either, you asshole. They would just be like really shy.
Yes, I would do that all the time. Still I think that was what it was with Rollin. He was more. I misread that he wasn't. That he was closed off or like it was angry. He was just kind of shy too.
I never got that. He's a Cancer too. He has my birthday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's the kind of person where if he's not complaining, he's not talking about it. So you know it's good. You know something's good or he really likes it if he doesn't say much about it.
Oh. There was
at least at the time. I don't know what he's like now. I'm sorry, go on.
No, he would smoke a lot. He was a musician. I mean, there's a lot of things. But wow, it's so interesting, like getting inside your brain, because everybody loved you. That's the thing. Everybody liked Jeremy.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I wish you guys would have told me.
Like Dylan drama, but
I wish somebody would have said something. No, it was funny.
That's why you got all dark.
When I met Ryan, I met Ryan first before anyone else.
Really? I thought you met Josh.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
But of like the core people, I don't think of Josh as like, because him and I still talk actually, and here and there. Mm-hmm. But I think of him more. Sometimes I forget he even worked there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's just crazy. He was hilarious, though.
And I don't even think he was the one who got me the job. I think Ryan was the one who got me the job.
I mean, whoa.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
It's okay.
It's my old lady knee. It's just spazzing out a little bit.
We can get it in post. Ryan was the one where I remember I met Ryan first. Ryan and I met each other through like a bunch of different times, really. But the first time I met him was he worked at the York Video like the rental video place at the end of my street. And
Really?
yeah, and I wanted to get a job there. So I walked, it was like cold as fuck too. It was like a really cold day and it was like blizzarding out. I walk up there. It's like slow. It was like basically me and maybe one other customer in there. And I was like, hey, can I get an application to apply for a job here? And, you know, Yankee was at the time like this big gargoyle.
A big deal. Yeah.
Like,
he was like,
he was tall and like.
He had that long hair. He wore that fedora, I think. Or that, it was just like a weird hat.
He had black, longish, like shoulder length hair with a yellow streak down it.
Is that what
yeah. He was like, he looked like a mall goth version of like the dad from the Munster family.
But he also had like an aura about him because he was cocky about it. Like he just didn't give a shit. Didn't he wear like Hawaiian shirts or something?
He had a lot of faces.
Or like
it's hard to keep up with a lot of them.
Something. I don't think
he had a lot of fashion phases.
Yes, I think he was wearing a bandana for a while.
Which, you know, hats off to him. Or should I say beret?
Beret? Was he wearing a beret? He probably was.
Probably. Actually, yes, he was. There's photos of him in a beret. He went through so many phases, but you got to hand it to him. Because I feel like for me, for the most part, as soon as like my freshman year of college, he's like the style I decided to just stick with. Like, that's it. I'm sticking with this and nothing else. Like, that. Like, I haven't changed up much. To
Not
a fault,
really.
Almost. Because, you know,
it actually came back. Like, you haven't changed that much that your fashion actually came back.
My clothes, yeah. Now we can change that saying up.
Y2K is actually really popular.
Let's hurry. Remember the phrase, like, let's hurry up before my clothes go out of style.
But they came back in style.
Let's hurry up before my clothes get back in style.
He is wearing some very cool Dickies tonight.
That's right.
He is, you know.
In my checkered black socks.
I was looking. He does know how to accessorize.
Skateboard tennis shoes.
I know.
Comedian T-shirt, black T-shirt.
But the thing is, it's not dirty. It's actually very clean.
Yeah, I'm an adult now.
I know. Yeah. It doesn't smell like puke or anything.
Yeah, no one's thrown up on this
yet.
Thank God. But yeah, Yankee. So I was like, hey, can I apply for this job? And he turns around and, you know, he's monstrous to me. And I'm like, oh my God. And he goes, why the fuck would you want to work here?
Did he really say that? Who else worked with him?
Here's my response. Oh, okay. And then I just walked home. I didn't get an application. Nothing. All I said was, oh, okay. And then left.
Does he know that?
Oh, yeah. We talked about that many times. And then I would see you guys hanging out at Tri-C.
Oh, my God.
So I went to, I don't think I ever got into this. So when I graduated, or when I was in high school, I did post-secondary programs. So I got to, in my high school years, go to the community college. Mm-hmm. And everyone was like, you know, a little older than me, a couple of years. But at that time, it was like, you might as well have been like 25, you know, 30 years old. Like, like you guys were all smoking in that little
flower.
Oh yeah, and I was creepy about it because I didn't like peek out the window. I'm like, what are these people up to? And then you guys would like turn and look at me. And I'm like, oh, scurry off. But you guys were like caged animals out there because it was in that like
and that
glass
weird
indoor gazebo thing.
We also didn't do anything at Tri-C either.
You guys played hacky sack and smoked cigarettes in that little area, and I was like,
we had like the pasta buffet, the pasta meal every day.
I jumped in one time in the hacky sack circle, and I didn't last long.
One of my ex-boyfriends broke his foot while playing hacky sack.
Should I feel bad about that? Why are you saying it like I'm responsible?
Because it's your foot.
You've been holding on to this for...
He knew how dorky that whole thing was.
You've been holding on to this for almost 20 years now. And now's your time. You like stab me 3 times. You're like,
I'm like, this is it.
You ruined that relationship.
Yes. Nah. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Hacky sack. Wow. Y2K. Very cool, Jeremy.
Why do you say that so condescendingly? Yeah, very cool, Jeremy.
Very, very cool, Jeremy.
Yeah, I guess you led a life.
Actually, I was thinking about what I used to wear, and I can't even. I don't
Yeah,
even
like
know.
how would you say your high school or your upbringing really influenced who you developed socially as you got older?
Oh my god, my upbringing. I was very.
Because you were a part of the cool goth girls for a minute there.
That wasn't considered cool back in the day.
Really?
Oh my god, I was bullied so much in the 8th grade for that. And then this one creepy guy who bullied on me was drugging me hit on me when I was like at a concert
I'm still sorry about
when I was
that.
20. I think he grabbed my belt loop when we were at the concert, and he's
That
like,
doesn't
"Yeah,
sound like me at all.
I think you're really hot." You know, his name was, I don't want to say his name, but I'm
Francis
like,
Ford Coppola.
Francis Ford Coppola. But I'm like, you fucking picked on me in 8th grade. I don't want to talk to you. It's not weird how much you hold on to. But no, I think I just kind of, my upbringing was kind of interesting. I was also like secretly psychic and like a creative human. I don't think, yeah, it was just kind of, I was drawn to art and.
I just had a thought, but we'll finish
What is
this
it?
up. Well, I'll tell you when
He's going to put a pin in that.
No. Keep going because I had a thought, and then I'll tell you when during the break.
Yeah, I was kind of like you. I was really shy. I was very artistic. I used to like kind of be like a solitary lady. Had a few close friends. I got really gothy in junior high. The more I went through puberty, like that was just what was going on, and then it kind of like evolved into like this vintagey. Punky
That is
thing.
a really great. So.
And, I hung out with a lot of the art kids, but they were associated with the punk kids. Yeah, so.
How was it growing up as a female going through puberty in high school?
Oh, my God. Junior high was the worst. Junior high was terrifying. Everybody was having sex and doing drugs, and it was terrifying. And then after that, of course, I went to Shiloh and Parma, so that was like a different thing. But like after that, I was like, I actually had that thought. First, I had the thought when I was pubescent, when I was going through puberty. I'm like in like 6th grade, I was reading like American Girl like books and wearing like purple jeans, and now I'm like, listening to The Cure and smoking and not purposely not washing my hair. I actually was like, what was the change? But then when high school hit, I thought it was going to be terrifying, but it seemed like all that hormone craziness chilled out, and it just kind of, it was still high school and stupid, but like, it wasn't as bad as like junior high.
Yeah, that's scary shit to me. Because when I was growing up and going through puberty, like there's like no real like.
Oh yeah, you didn't know what to do. Like
yeah, there's no outlet.
No,
there's nobody to talk to.
Especially your religious parents, like they're really going to talk to you about that shit.
Right. So like and
I definitely
any girl that you would talk to was also religious. So there's that sense of like, oh, I'm sinning, and there's a guilt attached to it. So there's a lot of shame involved.
Oh my God.
Which is why I love being spanked today. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't even get me started.
I luck out. That is not a kink. Thank God. It's not a.
No, but yeah, I mean, we can go on a different tangent about that shit. But like, no, it's like puberty was just hard because you didn't know what the fuck was going on. Like all these emotions, you were like flipping out. I couldn't control anything that was coming out of my mouth. Like, yeah. But yeah, I forgot. You really didn't have anywhere to go with that.
No.
You were sinning when you would talk to a female.
So it kind of like, so that's, when I ended up at like the Arabica and I was a little older or whatever, I think that was probably more of my pubescent learning years.
Oh yeah.
Because like I said, I feel like because of my upbringing, I was kind of a little slow to the take, but like, I feel like I got it together now for the most part, but I still think that I have like, I feel like I'm a step behind all the time.
Really?
Yeah. Which isn't fine. I'm accepted it, but like
I don't think you are. You really internalize a lot of things. You are a little Cancer boy. Oh, you little prince. But no, I actually
you're saying something very sweet, but it almost sounds condescending.
Like I'm being a little. I'm like, oh, you little baby.
Yeah. How emasculating.
No, it's just no.
I'm emasculated on my own podcast. Draft you.
I'm a man. I'm a grown man. Don't talk to me like that.
View me as a man. That's all I want out of this podcast is this audience to view me as a man.
Yes, that's where it's coming from. No, you were a step behind. It's just interesting, though. You internalize a lot of things. No, I thought
I was so confused. Like, I didn't know how to process any of it because it was all so strange and weird to me.
Yeah.
Because I just never had those social interactions or experiences.
Now the young kids have like TikTok and being like genderqueer is more accepting. And
I love this new generation coming up.
I'm really happy about that.
Dude, they're the best. They're going to save this world, I hope.
I really hope so because, we're fucking up a little bit.
They're so accepted, even the most ignorant ones will still have their moments of like, yeah, it's cool that you're gay.
Yeah.
They're like frustrated about it, but they're cool with it.
Sexuality is a spectrum, all right? Yeah, I know. It's very refreshing to see that, where people are kind of
like they're open about it, but they're frustrated with how open they are about it. Like, yeah, it's cool, fine.
Yes. But they're still young kids.
They're so, oh my God. There's a kid who is involved with our secret society. Go to Secret Society Comedy.
Really?
Shameless plug time. SecretSocietyComedy.com. He's a kid. He's younger than all of us. And like, he's like 22, 21, 22. Mm-hmm. And he is a gay black man who just teaches me so many things about like, there's so much. I have no idea what's going on. I was like, look, you guys should come out with an app. So for idiots like me can keep up with what's going on in the culture.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea.
Well, they have outlets like TikTok and they can even though like social media can be like really scary, they also have like those outlets and stuff.
You have the ability to delete it too.
Oh.
Really? That we didn't.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. But no, there wasn't a lot of outlets.
Oh, there's plenty of outfits.
There's plenty of outfits.
Trust me, he owns a lot of them. He's the best.
But
like he cracks me up. And there's like, what was he saying? There's a phrase where he's like, something about we're serving up pussy or something like that, or oh no, we're showing our pussies and serving up cunt or something like that.
Really?
And I was like, holy shit.
I'm gonna use that.
It was amazing. And I was like, he said it like loudly and into the world for everyone and God to hear. And I was like, my mind was completely blown, especially like, me as a straight white looking male. It would even come across as wrong. Like it would come across as me being like, show me your pussy, you cunt.
Yeah.
That's how it would come out. No matter how, if I said it right or not, that's how it would sound to the world. Mm-hmm. At least that's how I feel. It could be wrong on that, but like, yeah, I think this newest generation of kids they're definitely more open to finding common ground, even in their differences. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're a lot more encouraging each other in their differences because that's how they've grown up to be, because they have so many participation trophies. Yeah. People knock on participation trophies because they're jealous that they didn't have that like positive upbringing.
Well, it was not cool to show vulnerability.
Still not. What are you talking about?
The young chippies are getting a little bit better than that.
Right? To this day, I'm like, fuck you, Dad.
I know.
I don't even have problems with the guy.
Because of his curve cologne.
His curve cologne. Good callback. That was a solid callback.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's wild you remember that. All right. So, actually, I will discuss it. Would you... So I know we're running a little late.
It's all right.
Do you have more time? A little bit more time, or you have to go?
Let's see. Let's see. I have time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell everybody a little bit about your background and what you do now.
What I do now?
Yeah.
Like,
so like
my human life, my life.
Yeah, so like so you as a medium and a Reiki.
So, wowie zowie. Where do you want me to start? Just everything.
Everything.
Okay, well.
Because what I'm going to ask you to do is that would you be open to giving me a reading in the Patreon episode?
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch.
Okay. So if you want to
So-
watch that, so tell them who you are.
I
But if you want to
am-
watch her give me the reading, you switch over to Patreon. Hopefully I'll have it set up by the time this episode airs.
Yes. Okay, so I am an intuitive medium, which is really rad. I've been doing it ever since I was like a kid, even though it's like really cool right now to be a medium. A lot of, I'm also like a
is
musician.
hip these
I'm a
days.
musician. Me and you actually played shows back in the day when you used to go by Golden Ox.
That's right. Now it's Golden Ox Studio.
I know, and I am still new, and I still haven't changed. I'm still the same old.
Yeah.
And I do Reiki 1 and Reiki 2. I also practice tantric yoga,
Nice.
which is another episode.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Check out the Patreon for the tantric yoga.
Yeah,
Yeah, it definitely is going to be behind a paywall. You fucking perverts.
But yes, I know.
All right. Well,
There's like a
well,
pause.
do you use Noon for other areas or just for?
Oh yeah. I can tell you my things.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Well, I'm on Facebook under Erin Intuitive Medium. Instagram, the same thing, Erin Intuitive Medium. NoonMusicOfficial.com and then Noon Music Official. I'm on Instagram.
That's awesome. You're the first guest I've had where they actually have something to plug.
Oh, well, that's rad.
Yeah,
I
it is
also
really
have
cool.
Instagram for my cat, but I'll leave it out there.
Yeah, we'll have them search for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't give them too much.
Yeah.
Leave a little excitement.
You'll figure it out.
But yeah, you're the first guest that I've had that like does something. I hate to say it. This is so shitty to say, but you're the first person that has like an Instagram or like something like social media to plug,
yeah.
or for like an artistic endeavor or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So that's cool. You have something
I'm
to
not
promote.
a young chippy about it. I need a young chippy to promote.
Yeah, me too.
But it's there and it gets around, so it does the trick.
Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Erin's going to be giving me a reading. And if you want to hear what the reading's all about, go over to Patreon. And we love you. Stay weird. Stay homeschooled. Be awkward and be confident in it. Good night,
Because we will
everybody.
love you anyway, yeah.
There you go.